Welcome back to the deep dive. You know the drill by now. We're all just drowning in it, aren't we?
Yeah.
The overwhelming stack of articles, the endless ping of notifications, the sheer unadulterated noise of the internet. It feels like a full-time job just to keep your head above water.
It really does.
So that's where we come in. We take all of that chaos and we filter it down to find the signal. We do the heavy lifting so you don't have to.
Precisely. It is about finding the narrative thread.
Yeah.
Because in a world where information is coming at us from 1,000 directions, TikTok trends, breaking news alerts, Substack essays, X threads, our job is to hit the pause button. We stop the scroll, we look at the pattern, and we ask the fundamental question, what is actually going on here?
And today we are crafting a deep dive that is custom tailored for the learner, the curious mind, the person who wants to understand not just what is happening, but why it matters. We are stripping away the clickbait to get to the core. And frankly, today's topic is one that just makes me smile. It's nostalgic, it's current, and it's surprisingly complex. We are talking about the undisputed king of Latin pop.
The one and only.
We are talking about Ricky Martin.
It is a fascinating case study in longevity. When you look at the volatility of the music industry, staying power is the rarest commodity. It really is.
It is.
We see artists rise and fall in 6-month cycles now. A viral hit happens in January, and by June, nobody remembers the artist's name. But Ricky Martin, he has maintained relevance across 4 distinct decades. That is a statistical anomaly.
It really is impressive, and the timing here is crucial. Let's set the scene for you. We are recording this in mid-February 2026. The Super Bowl has just wrapped up, the confetti has been swept away, the commercials have been analyzed to death, and suddenly the news cycle is exploding with reports about a massive return. It's like the dust settled on the football field and out walked a legend.
That's right. We're seeing breaking news about a return to Argentina, specifically.
Yep.
But it's not just about one country. It's about what this moment represents in a career that has spanned generations. It feels like a pivotal moment, a new chapter opening up, just as everyone was focused on the halftime show.
Exactly. And that's the hook for today's deep dive. We live in an industry that is obsessed with the next big thing, right? It's all about who is trending on social media today.
This minute even.
It's about who has the viral dance challenge this week. So the central question we are posing is this. How does a veteran superstar, someone who exploded globally in the late 90s, not only stay relevant, but manage to bridge the gap between the era of CDs and MTV to the current era of streaming and Bad Bunny?
It's the difference between being a star and being an institution. A star shines and burns out. An institution endures.
That's a great way to put it.
And the trigger for this specific conversation is the confirmation we've just received about his return to Argentina in April 2026, coming hot on the heels of a major Super Bowl appearance. It's this 1-2 punch of global visibility followed by regional dominance that we need to dissect.
So before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's quickly lay out our sources so you know where we're getting our intel. We are pulling from a really diverse stack today.
We are.
We've got reports from Yahoo on Español Vida y Estilo, deep dives from Parade, updates from Mexico News Daily, personal insights from People.com, and of course some extensive biographical data to contextualize the history.
And our mission is clear. We aren't just going to read you a list of tour dates. Anyone can Google that.
Yeah.
We want to unpack the cultural phenomenon of Ricky Martin.
Yes.
We want to trace that evolution from a boy band member in Menudo to a global icon and really analyze what this current phase, this 2026 resurgence tells us about legacy of the music industry. We're looking for the story behind the tour dates.
So let's unpack this. Let's start with the news that is currently lighting up South America, the current event, the Argentina return, slated for April 2026.
Right. So according to Yahoo in Español Vida y Estilo, it is official. Ricky Martin is returning to Argentina in April. Now, for the casual observer, that might just sound like musician schedules concert.
Right. Man does his job.
Exactly. But you have to understand the context here. This isn't just another stop on a routine look.
It's never just a concert with Ricky in Argentina, is it? It feels like there is a specific gravity to this relationship.
No, absolutely not. The report clarifies that this is a series of concerts, essentially a significant visit. It's not a stopover. And the headline here is the long wait. He hasn't visited Argentina in quite some time.
Okay.
In the life cycle of a fandom, that absence creates a massive amount of pent-up demand. Imagine your favorite artist vanishing from your region for years. When they finally say, "I'm coming back," the emotional response is explosive.
It's the scarcity principle. When you make yourself available constantly, people take it for granted. But when you go away for a bit, that anticipation builds pressure.
Yes.
It reminds me of when bands do reunion tours, even if they never officially broke up. The absence makes the heart grow fonder, literally. But is there a financial strategy to that, or is it just logistics?
Oh, it's absolutely strategic. In the touring industry, we call it resting the market. If you play the same city every 12 months, ticket sales inevitably decline because the experience isn't unique.
It becomes a commodity.
It becomes a commodity. Oh, I'll just catch them next year. But if you rest a major market like Buenos Aires for 3, 4, maybe 5 years, you aren't just selling a ticket. You're selling an event. You're selling the grand return. It allows you to command higher ticket prices, book larger venues, and generate a media frenzy that free advertising can't buy.
That makes so much sense. It turns a gig into a gala. And we need to analyze why this specific return is making headlines. It's about the local impact. Argentina has a very specific, very intense relationship with Latin pop icons. When you look at the source material, it describes the reaction as an outpouring. We're seeing reports of fans already planning logistics, the sheer volume of social media comments. It's a mobilized base. It disrupts the local music scene because suddenly everyone is talking about this event.
I think we need to define the Argentine fan for a moment here.
Yeah.
Culturally, Argentine audiences are known globally as some of the most passionate in the world.
Right, for soccer, for everything.
For everything, whether it's football or rock concerts. The level of participation is different. They don't just watch, they chant, they jump, they create a chaotic, beautiful energy. They have this chant, ole, 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 that they adapt for every artist they love.
Wow.
For a performer like Ricky Martin, who feeds off live energy, Argentina is the ultimate battery charger. It's not a passive audience. It is a participatory experience.
I love that image. It's not just an audience, it's a movement. Now, based on the sources, what can we speculate about regarding the logistics? Because the fans listening right now are probably wondering, okay, but where do I buy tickets? What cities?
Well, the sources are pointing to April. While the specific itinerary is still trickling out, the speculation, and this is educated guessing based on the venue sizes he commands, points to major arenas in Buenos Aires, likely the Movistar Arena or similar venues.
The big ones.
The really big ones. We might also see dates in major cultural hubs like Cordoba or Rosario. When an artist of this magnitude comes back after a hiatus, they don't play small clubs. They play stadiums or massive arenas. The logistics involve massive stages, dancers, lights. It's a production.
And the Yahoo report mentions the expectations of the followers. It's interesting because when you have a career this long, the expectations aren't just play the new songs.
No, quite the opposite. The expectation is a journey. They want the hits from the 90s, they want the ballads from the early 2000s, and they want the energy of the new material.
It's a tightrope walk.
It's a delicate balance. The challenge for Ricky is constructing a set list that satisfies the nostalgia without feeling like a museum piece. He has to prove he's still vital now.
Right.
If you only play the hits, you're an Ortiz act. If you only play the new stuff, the crowd gets bored and goes to the bathroom during the new tracks.
That is the nightmare scenario for any artist, isn't it? The bathroom break song.
Exactly. And with a catalog as deep as his, curating that 2-hour experience is an art form in itself. He has to weave the narrative of his life through the songs.
I want to pause on the why Argentina aspect for a second. You touched on it, but let's go deeper. Why does this specific country matter so much in the narrative of Ricky Martin? He's Puerto Rican, so why is the Southern Cone so vital?
It's a great question. Historically, Argentina has been a launch pad for Puerto Rican and international artists into the broader South American market. But with Ricky, it's personal. There's an emotional connection there. Back in the 90s, he spent a significant amount of time there, appearing on television shows, doing extensive promo tours. Latin American audiences, particularly in the Southern Cone, have a way of adopting artists. They don't just consume the music, they adopt the person.
So it's less transactional.
Way less transactional.
Yeah.
So this return isn't viewed as a commercial transaction. It's viewed as a homecoming of an adopted son. The passion of the Argentine crowd is legendary artists often record their live albums there for a reason.
That's a beautiful way to put it. It's emotional. And speaking of emotion and high stakes, let's pivot to the very recent past. We are talking days ago. The Super Bowl 2026.
The biggest stage on earth. The most watched television event in the United States, and increasingly a global spectacle.
Literally. If you're listening to this in February 2026, you know exactly what happened. But for the record, let's detail it. Ricky Martin made a special participation in the halftime show.
Uh-huh.
But he wasn't alone. He wasn't the sole headliner.
No, and this is the key. He performed alongside Bad Bunny.
The titan of the current era. The guy who has been the most streamed artist on the planet for years running.
Exactly. And we need to look at the source from Parade here because they really broke down the details of this performance. It wasn't just two guys singing a song. It was a collision of two eras. You have Ricky, the pioneer of the global explosion, and Bad Bunny, the current ruler of the streaming world.
And visually, they're so different.
Visually, musically, it was a fascinating contrast.
Let's dig into that contrast, because on paper, they are very different artists. Ricky is polished, choreographed, the quintessential showman.
The white suit, the perfect smile.
Exactly. And Bad Bunny is raw, streetwear, trap influenced. How did that mesh on stage?
It meshed because they represent two sides of the same coin. Puerto Rican excellence. Ricky represents the pop era, the shiny, perfected, made-for-TV excellence that broke down barriers in the 90s.
Yep.
His movements are precise, his look is tailored. Bad Bunny represents the urban era, the authentic, gritty, unfiltered sound that dominates today. Seeing them together was a visual representation of the evolution of Latin music.
It showed the lineage.
It showed the lineage. It showed that you can't have the trap star without the pop star who opened the door.
And Ricky's reaction to this was really telling. He didn't play it cool, did he? He wasn't just checking a box.
Not at all. He was very open about the emotional weight of it. He shared a message about the cultural impact of that moment. You have to imagine, for Ricky, looking at Bad Bunny must be like looking in a mirror, but a mirror that reflects a world he helped build.
That's a powerful thought.
He fought for a space that Bad Bunny now occupies so comfortably.
That's where it gets really interesting for me. I want your expert take on this. A lot of people call these moments a passing of the torch. Is that what we saw? Is that the right metaphor?
I struggle with the phrase passing the torch because it implies the first person is done. It implies, here, you take this, I'm going home to sit on the porch.
Yeah, that's not what's happening.
That's not what happened at the Super Bowl. Ricky Martin is heading to Argentina for a massive tour. He's not retiring.
So it's not a retirement party. It's not a farewell tour.
No, I prefer to call it a sharing of the crown. It validates Ricky's enduring relevance because he can stand toe-to-toe with the biggest artist in the world right now and not look out of place.
Right, he belongs there.
But it also validates Bad Bunny, placing him in that lineage of legends. It connects the timeline. It says, this is where we came from and this is where we are. It unifies the generations rather than replacing one with the other. It tells the audience that both of these things can be true at the same time, the legend and the current king.
Sharing the crown. I like that. It feels more collaborative. And it's worth noting, this wasn't a one-off. It wasn't like Ricky came out of hibernation just for the Super Bowl.
Correct. Mexico News Daily has been tracking his wider schedule. This Super Bowl appearance acts as a massive marketing funnel for his actual work.
Ah, of course.
He has concerts planned for Mexico running alongside this Argentina news. He has recent albums, collaborations. The machine is fully operational.
It's a masterclass in momentum, isn't it? Use the global visibility of the Super Bowl to fuel the ticket sales for the Latin American tour. It's synergy at its finest.
It is classic industry strategy, executed perfectly. You use the massive general audience event to drive conversion for your core product, the Live Tour. The Super Bowl is the commercial. The tour is the product.
That's brilliant.
Millions of people watched that halftime show, and a percentage of them thought, oh yeah, Ricky Martin, I love him. Is he touring? And boom, the Argentina announcement drops. That is not an accident. That is careful planning.
Okay, so we've established he's back, he's huge, and he's touring. But to really understand the gravity of this, especially for our younger listeners who might only know him as that guy who sang with Bad Bunny, we need to go back.
We have to.
We need the origin story.
We need to contextualize the legend. Because you cannot understand the 2026 Ricky Martin without understanding the foundation. You can't appreciate the tree if you don't look at the roots.
And that foundation has a name. Menudo.
Menudo. For the uninitiated, Menudo wasn't just a boy band. It was an institution. It was a revolving door of young talent. But the level of discipline was military.
This is what always blows my mind. He started this when he was, what, a child?
He joined in the mid-'80s. He was a young teenager, barely out of childhood. And the training ground of Menudo is unlike anything we see today.
How so?
Today, you can get famous on TikTok in your bedroom, perhaps by accident. You film a video, the algorithm picks it up, and suddenly you have a career. In Menudo, nothing was accidental. You learned choreography, media training, vocal stamina, and you toured relentlessly across Latin America. They were working harder than most adults.
I read somewhere that Menudo had a strict aging out policy. Can you explain that?
Yes, this is fascinating and, frankly, pretty ruthless. The rule was that once you turned 16, or if your voice changed, or if you grew too tall, you were out.
Gone.
You were replaced.
Yeah.
It was machine designed to stay eternally young. It was brutal, but effective for the brand. It meant the band existed as an entity separate from the members.
Wow.
But for the members, including Ricky, it created this immense pressure. You knew your time was limited. You had to maximize every second. You were fighting for your spot every single day.
That sounds incredibly stressful for a kid, to know you have an expiration date stamped on your forehead.
It was, but it was also a boot camp. By the time he was 18, he had the experience of a 40-year-old veteran.
Right.
That is the secret sauce of his longevity. The discipline required to survive Menudo prepares you for a 40-year career. It instills a work ethic that is practically bulletproof.
So all that work we see now.
When we see him on stage in Argentina in 2026, performing a 2-hour high-energy set, that stamina was built in 1985. He knows how to work a camera, how to work a crowd, how to save his voice. These are skills honed over decades.
That is such a good point. It's muscle memory at this point. So he leaves Menudo, does the soap opera thing for a bit, shout out to General Hospital fans, because that was a whole era in itself. But then comes the explosion, the late 90s.
The global explosion, the moment pop culture shifted.
I mean, if you were alive in 1999, you could not escape Livin' La Vida Loca. It was everywhere. It was on the radio, in movies, in commercials. You'd go to the grocery store, it was playing.
Oh, absolutely. You go to the dentist, it was playing.
Yes.
It was ubiquitous. But we have to look at the tracks. Livin' La Vida Loca and The Cup of Life. La Copa de la Vida. These weren't just catchy songs. They were cultural battering rams.
La Copa was the World Cup anthem, right? For France, 98.
Yes, France 98. That performance at the Grammys, it's often cited as the singular moment that changed the American perspective on Latin pop. Before that performance, the industry didn't think a Latin artist could command a prime-time American audience like that.
So what was the thinking?
The prevailing wisdom was that Spanish music was for Spanish speakers, and English music was for everyone else.
And he proved them wrong in about 3 minutes.
Less than that.
Yeah.
He got on stage, and the energy was so undeniable that the entire room stood up. Even the cynical music executives were dancing. It was a kinetic performance. He brought the carnival to the Grammys.
Let's talk about that crossover phenomenon. Because today, Spanish music is everywhere. It's on the top 40. But back then, it was segregated, wasn't it?
Completely. There was Latin music and there was pop music. They were in different sections of the record store. They were played on different radio stations.
Right.
Ricky Martin was the wedge. He was the force that broke down that door. He didn't just have hits. He fundamentally changed the market. He proves to executives in New York and Los Angeles that a bilingual, culturally Latin product could dominate the mainstream U.S. charts.
He showed them the money, basically.
He showed them the money.
So before the current reggaeton boom, before Despacito, before Bad Bunny, there had to be a Ricky Martin.
Without Ricky Martin, there is no Shakira crossover. There is no Enrique Iglesias crossover. And arguably, the path for Bad Bunny is much, much harder.
He paved the road.
He normalized the sound. He brought the percussion, the horns, the dance moves. He made the Latin lover archetype a global pop standard, not just a niche interest. He made it cool to be Latin in the mainstream U.S. pop world. He made it desirable.
It's amazing to think about the dance moves specifically, the hips. I mean, the energy was infectious. It wasn't just the voice, it's the whole package.
It was. And it was visual. It fused markets. It wasn't just about the audio. It was about the spectacle. He brought a level of showmanship that matched Michael Jackson or Madonna, but with a distinctly Latin flavor. He bridged the gap between the Broadway showman and the rock star.
So bringing it back to today to this legacy analysis, why does he still matter? We've got the tour, we've got the Super Bowl, but if we dig a bit deeper into the why, what do we find?
Well, let's connect it back to the Super Bowl segment. We talked about Bad Bunny. Ricky provides the blueprint for modern artists.
How so?
Think about the trajectory. Local hero, regional star, global icon, the navigation of language singing in Spanish and English, the cultivation of a brand that is both sexual and approachable. Parade touches on this in their analysis of his influence. Artists today stand on his shoulders because he showed that you don't have to dilute your identity to go global.
That's a key distinction. He didn't become less Puerto Rican to make it in America.
Oh.
He brought Puerto Rico to America.
Exactly. And then there is the stickiness of the music itself.
Right. Why are we still listening to Livin' La Vida Loca nearly 30 years later? Why hasn't it faded into obscurity?
It's the craftsmanship. These songs were written and produced by the absolute best in the business at the time, Desmond Child, Draco Rosa. The musical quality allows them to transcend their era.
A great hook is a great hook.
A great hook is a great hook, whether it's 1999 or 2026. The production was pristine. It wasn't just a beat made on a laptop in 10 minutes. These were intricate compositions.
It's true. You put that song on at a wedding, at a club, at a gym, it works. It still works.
It works because it has an undeniable energy. It captures a feeling of pure joy and abandon. That doesn't age.
Yeah.
And frankly, the musicianship, the brass sections, the percussion, it's high-quality stuff. It's not disposable pop. It was recorded with real instruments, real horn sections. That creates a sonic depth that synthesized music sometimes lacks.
You feel it.
You feel the air moving through the trumpet. You feel the skin of the conga.
Now, I want to shift gears a little bit. We've talked about the superstar, the icon, the historical figure, but there is a human being behind all of this. Let's talk about the man behind the icon.
This is where the People.com sources come in handy. Because amidst all these tour dates and Super Bowl rehearsals, Ricky Martin is a father.
And a very dedicated one, from what I gather.
Very. He has a large family, and as any parent knows, that changes your priorities. It changes how you view time.
Right.
Time is no longer just touring cycles, it's school years.
It has to be a balancing act, right? I mean, how do you explain to your kids, sorry, I have to go to Argentina to play for 50,000 people?
It's the challenge of equilibrium. The sources discuss how his priorities have shifted. In the 90s, it was career, career, career. Now it's about maintaining that career while being present.
And I think that human element makes him incredibly relatable to you, the listener.
Absolutely.
Totally. We might not be pop stars, but we all struggle with work-life balance. We all struggle with, do I take this business trip or do I make the soccer game?
Exactly. He's just doing it on a much larger scale. When he schedules a tour in Mexico or Argentina now, it's not just about logistics of the stage. It's about the logistics of the family unit. And I think the fans appreciate that. They see him as a complete person, not just a dancing machine. They respect that he takes breaks to be a dad. It humanizes him.
It adds a layer of maturity to his brand. He's the pop dad now.
In the best possible way. It grounds him. It also changes the way he performs. When you watch him sing the ballads now, there's a different weight to them. There is life experience behind the lyrics that wasn't there when he was 25.
That's a great observation.
He's lived more life, felt more pain, experienced more joy. That translates to the stage.
The voice ages, but the interpretation deepens.
Okay, let's get the listeners involved here. We always like to look at the interactive element, the voice of the people.
The fan connection with Ricky is unique because it spans generations. You have the moms who loved him in Menudo, the daughters who loved him in the 90s,
Right.
and the grandkids discovering him through Bad Bunny. That is a wild demographic spread. 3 generations dancing to the same guy. That's rare. Usually the grandkids think the grandparents' music is lame.
It is rare. And when you look at the comments and the fan memories being shared around this Argentina news, it's all about nostalgia. People sharing memories of their first concert, the specific tracks that define their summers.
It's the soundtrack of their lives.
Exactly. When they go to the concert, they aren't just seeing Ricky, they are revisiting their own youth.
Yeah, so I have to ask you, putting you on the spot here, if you are in that stadium in Buenos Aires in April 2026, what is the one track you need to hear?
Oh, that's a tough one. There are so many phases of his career. But if I'm being honest, I'm going with the ballad. I'm going with Volve.
Oh, bringing the tears, going for the emotional gut punch.
It's the vocal performance. It showcases his range.
Yeah.
The energy of the upbeat tracks is great, but Volve is where you see the artist. It's raw emotion. It's the song everyone screams the lyrics to. It's that moment in the concert where the lighters, or I guess now the cell phone flashlights, come out. It creates a unified atmosphere that is just magical. It feels like a religious experience for the fans. What about you?
I gotta go the other way. Give me La Copa de la Vida. I want the drums. I want the horns. I want to feel the ground shake.
Yeah, the anthem.
I want that World Cup energy. I want to jump up and down. I want to feel like I just won the championship.
See, and that's the beauty of his catalog. It has both. It can make you cry and it can make you dance. It covers the full spectrum of human emotion.
It really does. So let's wrap this up. We've covered a lot of ground. What does this all mean?
Let's synthesize the main takeaways. Number 1, Ricky Martin is entering a major active phase in 2026. The Argentina return and the Latin American tour are happening. This is real. He is active.
Check.
Number 2, his Super Bowl performance with Bad Bunny wasn't just a cameo, it was a cementation of his status. He is a living legend who can hang with the new generation. He remains culturally vital. And number 3, his legacy is defined by that pivotal role in opening the global door for Latin pop. We are living in the musical world that Ricky Martin helped build. Every time you hear a Spanish song on U.S. radio, you're hearing Ricky's legacy.
So what for our listener is this. This isn't just entertainment news. It's a masterclass in career longevity. It's a business case study on how to evolve your brand while staying true to your roots. It's about how to manage the transition from idol to icon.
Absolutely. It explains why the music landscape looks the way it does today.
I want to leave everyone with a final provocative thought. We talked about how Ricky paved the way for Bad Bunny.
Right.
But here's the question. If Ricky Martin paved the way for Bad Bunny, who is Ricky Martin paving the way for now? By continuing to tour, by staying active in his 50s, he's creating a new blueprint for what a legacy artist looks like in the Latin world. How does an artist decide when to compete and when to mentor?
That is the ultimate question.
Yeah.
And watching him navigate that is going to be fascinating. He is rewriting the rule book for the third act of a pop career. We haven't really seen this before in the Latin pop sphere at this scale.
He's a pioneer again.
He is charting new territory yet again.
It certainly will be. Well, that's all we have time for today on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
And hey, keep an eye on your feed. We might just have to do a follow-up. The top 5 songs that defined Ricky Martin's career. I think we could have a heated debate on that one.
Oh, I've got my list ready.
I bet you do. Thanks for listening, everyone. Stay curious.